Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm Duskus. I'm hanging out with Rob from Front Row Live.
You come from, learning classical guitar growing up. So it's like, how did classical guitar kind of take you into this sound of music that you're creating right now?
I suppose, like, when I was younger, I played classical guitar for like 7, 8 years,
Yeah.
and then like I kind of like got bored of like doing that because like it became a chore at some point. So I got like more into like acoustic-y style guitar, and then from there like just sort of writing my own songs on guitar and like something like a lot more melodic stuff,
Right.
like a lot like. And then at some point, I started listening to like Skrillex, like everyone did, of course. But I only listened to it for like the melodic sections, not
Yeah.
like really the drops or anything like that. I didn't really like understand that, just like the melodic stuff. So then I stopped playing guitar and then got into just like pure writing on the laptop because I thought that was super interesting. And yeah, like chords and just like how like chord progressions could make you like have a certain emotion was like the main
Right.
interest for me. Yeah.
How did you kind of discover that? Like how, different chord projections kind of change everything. Like how did you, I mean, what happened that made you realize that?
I think for me it was like trying to strive towards like a certain emotion. Like I wasn't trying to like create loads of different feelings at once. It was more just like one specific emotion that I tried that like reached me the most and like made me feel like the most happy. So when I was like creating progressions, I just like always strive to make that. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you start releasing music and, you start experiencing like stages and shows, like how does that kind of impact the way that you kind of create these songs?
Um. So like obviously like a lot of my earlier stuff is a lot more chilled, and then when I started playing live, I started realizing like maybe like see I want to start making some harder stuff because like I also do like harder stuff as well myself now as I've got older and matured. But I want to try and combine like the really melodic stuff and somehow make that like slightly more danceable. So I went for like my new stuff, which is like the more housey stuff, and like try to like really like combine like music and like danceable, like be able to dance to it, So like yeah.
Now, as you create like these like newer sounds or harder sounds, is it much different in the studio process for you?
Yeah, cause like before it would be like purely writing stuff on guitar and like not much production, really just keeping like my Ableton projects like limited to a certain amount of channels and just writing melodies and stuff. But like in the last few months even, it's like been more like about the sound design as I've got like all the music like in my head already. So like I want to like make all of like a round package, if you know what I mean. Like,
Right.
yeah, so like more sound design heavy now and yeah.
How do you kind of write your melodies? Like how do they kind of start out for you?
So like it's either on guitar, like I said, or like I'll grab like a random vocal and then like auto tune it. Like it might be the vocal might be out of the key of the song or like chord progression I've written,
Right.
and then I'll melodyne it in, and then put it in key and just draw random notes that are in key, and then I like export that out, and then just chop that up until I hear like a melody that like. I think it's all about just increasing your chances of luck, rather than trying to start from nothing and trying to create a melody. Like it doesn't really get you anywhere. If you can like give yourself a bunch of random ideas that you hear, you might hear something like special. So like trying to increase the chance of luck. Yeah, that's the way.
Now, as you try to increase your chances of luck, do you feel like you kind of write down certain formulas that you kind of feel work for you, or do you try and do it different every time?
So like that vocal chop method is like one of the big methods I've done, and then recently I've been using a soft like a plugin called Granulator in Ableton. It's like a little Max for Live plugin, and I'll just like get random songs, put them in, and then like just automate it and figure out if I can hear new progressions and new things and like hear new sounds that I wouldn't have been able to thought of myself, and then like write a song out of that. Yeah.
Now, as you're getting ready to drop this new EP, like how different was this like the writing process for you on this one?
So like I said, like I stopped playing guitar and got into production.
Yeah.
And then like that was like the first like 3 or 4 years of Duskus with just pure production. And then like I've kind of got like it kind of felt a bit stale at some point. So I was like, how can I like freshen this up for myself again? You know, I was like, maybe I can just bring like guitar back in or like somehow like and like maybe because I also played piano as well for a few years. So I like tried to like incorporate that somehow. And then like I realized that it was like so useful to bring the guitar back in, and then wrote like a whole EP in like I don't know quite a short amount of time. It's like it was nice. Yeah.
Now, I remember like you kind of took a break from music for like a month or two, like just to kind of like want to get back into it. You were kind of like done with it for a second. Like, how did that break kind of impact the way that like you think about like new material nowadays?
Um, I think it's nice to take a break because like if you're constantly doing something, it like at one point you'll just be repeating yourself and you don't give it any time to breathe. So like when I took that break, I felt stale at that time, and I just wanted to like take some time to like discover new music and like learn about some new tools and like get my production game up and just learn for a bit rather than actually just write. And then obviously I brought the guitar back in and then combined all my new skills together, and I was like, yeah.
And as you went into like kind of make this EP, like it's kind of you discovering yourself once again. So, you know, what new things did you discover this time around, you know, as you were creating this record?
I think I just discovered like how to like write again, because I got like, things got really stale, and I was like focusing on the wrong things. I was like, just bring the guitar out, keep it all simple, just write on the guitar, and then also like this is the first time my vocals are like used in like, I think there's one track before which had my vocals in, but like I use them in almost every track for this. Yeah. And I was like inspired by like a couple other Bitbird guys, and Bon Iver and stuff, like the auto-tuned vocal sort of style, and just wanted to like make that simple, like. So I know he used like a very heavy auto-tune on his like vocals, and I was like, I just want to do that, but just have like a couple word phrases and stick it in the song. And like also my friend East Coast as well, he does that similarly, but like in long. So I was like, I'm gonna try something like that, and it works really well, and I kept it unique, and also use those to chop up vocals as well. So it's like,
Now, as you kind of started adding vocals to your music, like how did you have to kind of learn to sing, or is that something that you also kind of trained when you were doing piano and also guitar?
Yeah, no, I can't sing like at all, but like that is the whole reason I wanted to like use the auto-tune style, and I love that sound anyway, because like all my vocal chops are like very heavily auto-tuned. There's no like glide, it's all like steppy, so it's like I want to like do that style, like that sound chain, but just on my own voice, so I can like create words out of, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
I feel like it's harder to create songs when it's when you don't use that many lyrics. And I feel like that's what you kind of did with this EP. Like it's just simple words or lyrics that you kind of use. Like, how difficult was it kind of creating these songs though?
Like I said, it's like I want to keep it all simple and like minimal, and I can't really write lyrics that well. I also like got my girlfriend to help me out with a couple things on the lyrics, but yeah, I just like wanted to keep it simple because that was in my like skill level, and maybe in the future I'll do like heavier songs, but right now like I feel like it's catchy if it's just simple, you know, a couple words, people can remember it, that's easy. Yeah.
Now, what do you feel like was that biggest challenge that you kind of faced on In Retrospect is the title of the EP, right?
Yeah, of course. I think like there were some ideas which I couldn't really figure out. I'd start with like an intro or verse and write the song, and then I couldn't really figure out like a chorus or something like that. But then like that's when I think like when all the songs I got stuck on, I thought I'm just gonna try sing on it and see what I can do. And then once I got my voice on it, then I figured out that I could like chop my voice up and come out of a chorus that way. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah.
Now this EP drops October 11th. You know, what are the plans once this drops? Can we expect some more kind of tours, some more kind of shows coming from you?
There's nothing like quite planned right now, but I'm sure there will be. I'm currently like renewing my visa and sorting everything else out like that. But yeah, I'm sure there will be. Yeah.
Now, as a touring artist from overseas, like how much of an impact does that kind of stuff like have on your music career, when it's like you have to think about your visas, you have to think about renewing any permits that you might have to do before you can actually like schedule these kinds of shows?
Yeah, that stuff is like stressful, but obviously that's why you have a manager and stuff as well. But it's also nice to be overseas because it gives me like if I lived in LA, I don't think I'd have as much like creative freedom or something. Like I'd be doing what everyone else is doing, and I wouldn't have an outsource of like, you know, like motivation. So like being in like UK and being in like London, and I live in Manchester right now, but I lived in London for 3 years and stuff, gave me like a new, like all my friends wouldn't listen to the stuff in LA. They listened to different stuff, but I listened to the stuff in LA. So I'd listen to what they were listening to and the stuff in LA, and then like combine that, you know? Yeah.
Now, lastly, you recently partnered up with Odesza's Foreign Family Collective. How did this kind of happen for you? And you know, what excites you about being part of this like team?
Yeah, so like when I finish like these more organic songs, we were sort of like looking around. I always like followed Foreign Family, and I've always followed Odesza, and like we sent them over some music, and the music that fit. It was like I feel like this EP like really fits that label super well, and it's like just because it's got the guitar and it's got the voice in. And a lot of their artists are like more live acts, and it's a lot more organic.
Right.
But yeah.
And to close us off, like, how do you feel like your evolution as an artist has grown from going to that first Bitbird songwriting camp to now?
As a songwriter, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Over the years, I've just learned new things. I've like progressed. Like I'm like opening my mind up constantly, and that's kind of why I wrote "I Can Change Your Mind." But like trying to open my mind up to as many new like sounds, styles, and like not keep boxed in. Don't keep making the same thing. Keep trying to evolve. Keep trying to motivate myself, because like with me, I'm always like I change very quick. I'm always like trying to find something new. I get bored of things quickly, but I'm always trying to like. I think that's a good thing for me though as well, because it means I like keep evolving my sound. Yeah.
I feel like that might challenge you when creating a record. I feel like a record would be too long of your focus, like at the same time, because you're going to want to jump into a new sound.
Yeah, that's why like most of the stuff I make I don't release. So like it's like if I make something, it's special to me. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me. You guys be sure to check out Duskus. In Retrospect EP drops October 11th. New single is out now, and thanks for watching on Front Row Live.